Welcome to our channel, Study with AVAI. In this lecture we will continue to discuss our Unit 1, which is Gender Issues. Those who are new to this channel, you know where to click. So now let's begin with revision. In the last lecture we taught you the below topics. If you have any doubts, please feel free to write in the comments section. Moving on with the topics which you will learn in this new lecture. We will give you 10 seconds to have an overview. So now that you're done, let's begin with gender socialization by the family. Gender socialization is often examined by sociologists to determine how and why males act differently. The socialization process begins at birth. Families usually treat newborn differently according to their sex. Boys dressed in blue while girls dressed in pink. From the moment they enter the world, they experience symbols and language that shapes its conceptions of gender roles and gender stereotypes. Language used by families to describe boys is often centered on physical characteristics, and while language appropriated to girls by families might address affection, expressivity or fragility. The different approaches and treatment of babies by the family serve to shape the behavior patterns and define boundaries. Moving on with homophily, it means having connections with the same sex. This begins soon as children are able to choose their playmates. Homophily is linked to social processes and emerges as children learn from their families and through experience that sex differences are permanent personal characteristics. Boys and girls learn and develop in gendered subcultures which generally influence social networks and future interactions. Homophily generally addresses how males and females develop ties to others. Moving on with psychoanalytic perspective on gender. Notion of internal conflict and the idea that we have an unconscious part of ourselves that motivates us but about which we are unaware. Important in understanding the differences in how males and females potentially learn gender differently from the family. Freud was one who disconnected gender from biology and stated that gender is not only destiny and innate but rather acquired. Now let's look at doing gender. Gender is something created and maintained in practice. Doing a task associated with a specific gender creates and perpetuates meaning that defines who one is and what it means to be a man or woman, masculine or feminine. In doing the gender perspective, gender is a routine, methodical and recurring accomplishment. Moving on, let's talk about the role of family in gender socialization. It is a major agent of socialization. We inherit positions from family. Family transmits different forms of resources. Impact of social class on child rearing practices. Wide range of experiences. Accomplishments of natural growth. Other points. Moving on with gender socialization and schooling. Traditional gender socialization processes and stereotypes are significant factors in the educational experience, expectations and outcomes for boys and girls. Gender socialization practices often result in highly gendered school environments and form fundamental factors that constrain learning opportunities, especially for girls. Gender socialization and schooling have the relationships in the following manner. Gender educational context. Conceptual advances. Teacher-based dynamics. Moving on. Teacher-based dynamics can further classified as teacher attitudes, teacher expectations, teacher-student interactions, formal curriculum, academic achievements, school environments, single-sex schools, peer influences and teacher training development. Moving on with formal organization. Organization are recognized and established. Relationships among members are status-oriented. Established authority, followed by superordination and subordination. Members are valuable because of their status. Norms may differ. Presented in written rules, regulations, laws, contracts or constitutions. Have a long history of great experiences. Formal organizations are inflexible. Moving on with informal organizations. Consist of roles rather than status. Personal relationships among members. Leadership is present. Members are valuable because of their roles and esteem. May develop into a formal organization. Quite flexible and no rigidity. Requires change in behavior of members. So here we completed this lecture. We hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please click the subscribe button. If you have any doubts, please clarify. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the very best.